All right, we are live. I'm going to wait a few seconds here while I make sure that StreamYard and YouTube are talking to each other. Sometimes that can be questionable. So I'm going to make sure. It looks like they are. Hold on. Yeah, double check. There we go. So, yes, we are talking to each other. So, welcome to the Rabyd Atheist. I'm your host, Ed Rabyd, a former pastor turned atheist, now a compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the stream. This is Deconversion Hangout. Deconversion Hangout is all about people who are deconverting. If you're looking for a place to talk about your deconversion issues or talk about deconversion in general, if you need some support and all that stuff, that's what we're here for. We're also here to have a good time, to kind of relax a little bit. It's kind of our way of getting away from the theists for a while. And as such, there's a few rules, like you have to be a subscriber to the channel to participate in chat, and you have to be a subscriber for at least 20 minutes in order to do that. That prevents some drive-by theists and apologists being a nuisance. I always find it weird that they like to come to this one and be a nuisance. But then again, that word deconversion seems to draw a lot of theists like moths to a flame. So there's that aspect of it. But yeah, those are some of the rules. The rules, of course, are even more strictly enforced by my mods. No preaching, please. That sort of thing. No, don't be insulting. So there's that. Let's see. Let's get a roll call of seeing who's here. Fred was here very, very early, and so was Triple E. Cranky Elder God in the corner of the room, as always appreciate that. Asshole was here, stopped by. Rimmer also. Anne Marie. Going down. Evan is here. There we go. Earl is here, the lovely Earl. Wolf Sinclair. Heathen choir chat. All right, there we go. Yes, we have our heathen choir here. All that jazz. So, yes. Always take a bow. I saw that, what was it? A few weeks ago, one of the royals actually curtsied, one of the female royals curtsied to the king, and it was remarkable because it doesn't usually happen as much anymore. So, okay. I stand corrected. You don't lurk in the corner of the room. You just growl menacing from the shadows. Okay, very good. Very good. So there's that. Yes, Juneteenth for our Americans in the room. I don't know. Where there were some people at work discussing Juneteenth yesterday, and I kept my mouth shut, but as usual, because it's not worth fighting over. So, but yeah, most people were annoyed, were thrilled because they got their paycheck a day earlier. So, yeah. If we ever meet in real life, I will get a curtsy. Okay. If we do meet in real life, Earl, then we need to get a camera on that. I'll have to wear my fedora or something, and you can do that. So there's that. How do I explain Juneteenth? June is Pride Month, so I'm trying to remember. Yes, here. Evan will probably do a better job of it than me. So the celebration of slaves being freed here marks the date when freed slaves in Texas got told about the Emancipation Proclamation. Yes, it's a holiday celebrating the Emancipation Proclamation, pretty much, and it's a federal holiday, believe it or not. My bank is closed tomorrow, so for it, it's very interesting. You're going to do a full ballet curtsy? Oh my goodness. Yeah, we do have to do that though. Well, if we know we're going to meet up, we got to have a camera person taking that when we meet. So, because I want to see that. So there's that. But yeah, Juneteenth is a controversial holiday in the South. I found that out quite avidly because a lot of white people don't want to remember this stuff. They want to move on, and I get that, but I demand, yeah, I'll wear a hat. No problem, Earl. I can wear a hat for that. So there's that. But yeah, but it's become a controversial. I never realized it was a controversial holiday until I got to the South. So, so yes. So yeah, it's a federal holiday. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people at work were happy they got paid early because what my employer does is when there's a holiday, they will pay you a day early if it interferes or gets close to whatever. So I got my money on Wednesday instead of Thursday. So, which is weird because it kind of tells you that they could pay you like immediately if they wanted to. It's like you got to remember certain names for wars not to use. Yes. Yeah, it's, man, my time in the South was very enlightening in Texas. And if I were to look back at it, because I've never really reflected on this, deconversion and living in the Bible Belt for a year and a half. I know there's like a lot of famous atheist YouTubers, like I think Aaron Ra lives in Texas, Dillahunty does too, I believe, and um, so they live there all the time, and so they're used to a lot of things. There was a lot of things in the South. I just, as a Northerner, as somebody deconverting and somebody who fights for equality and human rights and things like that, there was just some things I just never got comfortable with, and one of them was this whole Southern, lost cause argument. So, actually, yeah, a lot of people don't really know that, so it happens. Texas is not the South. North Carolina doesn't claim them. It's Southwest. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of South Central, isn't it? You're Southeast. Okay, there we go. All right, all right. So North Carolina doesn't claim Texas yet. All right, you don't claim Florida either. Yeah, it's kind of like you know Michigan, and like if you go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, they don't really claim anybody in the Lower Peninsula either. we're all trolls, below the bridge sort of thing. So Texas is its own region. You love your home state. Yeah, I mean, they used to be a country once upon a time all on their own, and I don't think they ever got over it. So it's fine. But I loved a lot of the people there, but there were just certain topics of discussion that were always uncomfortable. So they want to get on with it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, they did. They definitely didn't get over it. But yeah, there was just certain topics of discussion when I was in the South, and as somebody who didn't believe in God, who was an atheist, and I was, teaching in the public school at the time, and I was teaching social studies, so I ran into social studies issues. Like every time the U.S. history teachers got to the Reconstruction, like right at the beginning of the year, it was always a touchy time. So, oh, war to end all wars. Yes, that never really happened, did it? Somewhere out there, Florida man is crunching a crack. Yeah, it's kind of that's the touchy subject I'm talking about, Kyle. It's like they want to pretend it didn't happen, and so there's that. But yeah, I remember being very in rooms with social studies teachers debating certain points of the Reconstruction and being very, very uncomfortable in the room. So it was just one of those things that I'm kind of glad to leave that behind. But now I understand, like when atheists talk about Texas education, I'm not completely oblivious in the dark. I was part of that system for a while, and it's like, yeah. So yeah, there's definitely certain things that the Christians have gotten their claws in down there, and they keep promoting. So there's that. So, but yeah, I think as a deconversion issue, participating in a society is always an interesting deconversion issue to me, because once you don't believe in God and you start looking at these things a little bit more objectively and outside the religious tribalism, it changes the way you perceive it. Um, because I'm not interested in promoting atheism exclusively to everything else. I just think, until you prove a God, you might want to have something. But so there's that. Earl, that's a very interesting solution. They should probably take that one up. I the thing about Texas, what can I say about it? I met a lot of good people, um, but I feel like that all of them feel like they're inmates in something. Okay, like you either feel very uncomfortable with the politics or you feel very comfortable with the politics, and it's I just got very uncomfortable with the politics because it's that state has been so long in the control of Republicans. Like they have absolutely solidified their gerrymandering and all of the other stuff that they do to make sure that they keep power. And so the only thing that's really going to threaten that is like changes in population dynamics that are pretty quick, which is why the immigration issue is a big issue for them, because if a whole bunch of people move into a certain area and suddenly it shifts from red to blue, that's a big no-no for the Republicans, and that's why they're concerned. So there's that. Yes, everything wants to kill you in Australia. Yeah, I'm very uncomfy about the elections in Texas anymore. It's. I was an observer. I maintained my Michigan citizenship status because I kept my license here and I kept my car registration here, because both of those things in Texas are ridiculous. They don't have an income tax in Texas, but they will nickel and dime your ass in every fee that you can think of. Like it's the sales tax is higher too, and it's like, oh my god, yeah, you don't have an income tax, but they still get their money. There are ways. But yeah, talking, getting back to Deconversion Hangout here, it's one of those things that um, sticks in my brain, because once you get rid of the Christianity, politics changes quite a bit in the South. Like if suddenly magically you could get rid of the Bible Belt aspects in the South, how much different things would be. So yes, there's a lot of them. Like if I wanted to register my car in Texas, I had to get a vehicle inspection to make sure that it was fit to be on the road based on whatever standards they had. You had to get a sticker for that. And then and only then could you go get it registered, and that cost a fee too. And then you got, like there were other fees that I had to pay just to live in Texas. So it was one of those things where it's like, okay, they don't have an income tax in Texas, like a state income tax. That's great. And a lot of people move there for that reason, but they get you every other way. So they find ways to tax you. The sales tax is, I can't remember, it's almost 9%. So like you're tithing to the government every time you buy something. So just not used to it. I remember the big uproot hoopla they had here when they raised it from 4% to 6%. So, but yeah, the Ferengi would love Texas. They would think that's a great government. Let's get money out of everything. So, but let's see. Oh yes, I almost forgot. There's Earl produced a new piece of art that I wanted to share because the rumors are flying about this piece of art, which is did the rabid atheist and everybody go to church this last Sunday? Because the more I looked at it, I'm like, hey, did we go to church? Did something happen? So I love this one, by the way. I love this rendition of Fangs too. He's cute. But did we go to church? Yeah, that's true of a lot of states. Michigan's that way too. Um, Although I think the countryside is genuinely red. So the rabbi just blinked at you. How? Okay, I have trouble talking to people who aren't Trekkies or Star Wars fans. Like, I don't get into the game of which one's better because I love them both. Hell, I'll even throw Babylon 5 in there too. But I liked all that stuff because anything science fiction is my jam. Yeah, I thought so too. Did we go to church on Sunday? It brings up this question of, because I still get asked this: have you ever been to church? And it's like, since, and it's like I've been in a church building once, and a former church building once since I left, but I just still have a problem going to church. Yeah, Fangs is perfect here in this one. He's up on the edge of the pew. He's looking right at you. He's just like, so there's that. But yeah, it's it's one of those things where I love the fact that you got a lot of things in there, but it's watching. There's you go, Earl. You can answer that question. Oh, yeah, it's middle left. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the story behind this piece of art, I believe, is that it was an AI prompt, but you edited the shit out of it, pretty much, so that it made more sense. Oh, red panties at the altar? I have no idea. The rumors are flying, Earl. Might be blue though. Orange dicks. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is AI work, but it's like super edited. So I've been playing with AI too a little bit for images when I write now, because I'm not an artist, but I like every once in a while having a picture illustrate some of my writing, so I can visualize what I'm saying and do that. So yeah, the stick figure guy on the podium is kind of cute too, because I don't really know what church this is. The Church of Double Denim. Oh, yeah, yeah. But yeah, this may or may not be us at church on Sunday. Hey, Martin. Yeah, it's great for writing correct emails. Yes, that's true. Jeff Dunham. Oh man, I get that reference too. Have to put peanut. Yeah, I figured it out immediately because it's like the tongues of fire thing. It's like a Pentecostal cult. It's like, um, which the beauty of Pentecostalism, folks, is you can pretty much do anything weird in church and it fits. So I know I used to be one. So you don't think the 19th is a holiday? Yeah, it is. The banks are closed. That's how you know something's a holiday, so if you can't do any banking. Yeah, pair with my speaking. Yeah, maybe. There could be a cult out there, Evan, that does exactly that. No, you can, you name it, and somebody's done it in a Pentecostal church, probably. Um, I've heard of everything imaginable in a Pentecostal church when I was a Pentecostal. So, um, just weird to uncomfortable to straight up, racism, sexism stuff to, you name it, it's there. It's been there. I mean, if you want weirdo-ness, just, go to your local Pentecostal. Yeah, it's definitely a for fang's sake thing. But yes. But yes. Man, I was talking to my therapist about a week and a half ago about one of my Pentecostal experiences. I can't for the life of me remember what I was talking about at the moment. But yeah, it was something like that. Like it was a very weird thing. Like, and I I I I don't know. I tell you, there's a lot more weirdness and nutso stuff that goes on in church in general, but in Pentecostal churches, it's worse. So, so there's that. Acrobatics and triple cake apparel. Yeah, maybe. The Tooting Angel. Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I've lost track of the weirdness. I have. I mean, we've had this discussion before of how the reason why religion and sexual experiences go hand in hand is because they both kind of stimulate the same area of the brain. So it's not a hard like crossover from one to the other. So if you have this high Pentecostal experience in church, and then a couple holds hands and goes behind the church to have a little nookie, it's not actually that unusual. So, yeah, yeah, you won't see too many Pentecostal churches with people standing still. My last church was kind of mostly people staying in spot and not really moving all that much. And so it was weird for me at first, but then I got used to it. Oh, but no. Well, they should be stuff. Lutheran, exactly. Kind of very stodgy, and she get excited when. Yeah, I mean it's in some churches. This is very like having something lively or happy is very, very unusual. Like it's rare. Like uh, when I was doing my last church, the most exciting thing of the service was our choir. We'd get up there and we'd sing a number every week. And because we had this great pianist who could play a very lively, stuff, and then we sang lively songs. And one of the few songs we sung that wasn't a hymn, and we'd sing it, and everybody would get excited about it. Same thing. It's difficult to stand still when your crotch is itchy. Yeah, pretty much. You're told you never lived in the South? Yeah, you were. Southern people. I tell you. Oh, there's a lot of people that have lived in the South. I don't know what the Orthodox Church's deal is. They put out a lot of apologists these days. I have noted that where like a lot of apologists seem to be Orthodox in some way, like particularly pre-suppers. So, oh, okay. So, ready to work on the next vegetable art, and the thumbs down fangs will probably come out of that. Okay, that's actually a great idea, Earl, if you incorporate, because we've been pulling the emojis from like the bigger pictures because they work. So, oh, you did with the stank face? Oh, yeah, that would be good. I don't think anybody's seen that one yet. So, I don't know if I ever showed that one. So, that'll be a reveal too. Yeah, it's kind of a cultural thing. Yeah. Because when I was in Kentucky, when I was going to seminary, that was a big debate. Was Kentucky a southern state or a central state or whatever? The South doesn't seem to claim them, and the North doesn't seem to claim them. So, but yeah, I remember Kentucky really well. This is back in the mid '90s, so it was a while ago. But driving down the street and having, there were like two houses I passed sometimes when I drive to do, shopping and stuff that literally flew Confederate flags in the front yard, unashamedly. So it's just one of those, weird places where you could literally have two people fighting about that in the same state. They're both Kentuckians. Oh yeah, nobody's seen that one, so that'll be good. That'll be good, Earl. I like the way you're thinking. Yeah, it was, and it was a weird experience living in Kentucky for a couple years. It was just um, because they were still fighting the war. Although there is a great battlefield there, though it's the Perryville one, but and I went there because I was a history nerd at the time. Still kind of am, but I loved doing the history thing and just imagining what it looked like with all the soldiers there. It was just it was an experience. Yeah, they were. Kentucky tried to maintain neutrality in the war. They tried to do it, but then both sides realized their strategic importance because they're right next to the Ohio River on the south side. And so, I can't remember who invaded first, but either the North or South invaded Kentucky first. So, yeah. So, people in my life still talk to me like I believe and will believe again. And no matter how much I tell them I don't believe, they're in denial. Even casual people in life, like coworkers. I still get this. Triple E, do not be alarmed by this and don't take it too personally. Um, I still like every once in a while I'll get a comment. It usually happens like every 4 to 6 months where somebody will comment about how if I really am God's, I can't get away. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Why bother even evangelizing me? And why are you here? It's like, if that's really your belief that eventually I'll get saved again or whatever, um, yeah, I mean, it's a tough one for me uh, because every once in a while people say that to me, like, I'll believe again. And like, I've been, I was a Christian still a lot longer than I've been an atheist, but I've been an atheist for 9 years now. Um, and I haven't really found a good reason to get off of that. But these people, they don't want to have somebody around them as an example of somebody who can walk away from religion. That it's absolutely like it's something that bothers them emotionally. Like they don't like it. I mean, the attachment to religion is emotional. That's its hook. I just saw Mr. Deity did that video about that just very recently about that's the hook, and when he said that, I said, yeah, that's it. The emotional hook of it is what's the hook of religion. And so they're emotionally attached to their faith and they don't understand somebody who's become emotionally unattached to faith. So, and yes, it is frustrating and I get it, but make sure you understand that that's where they're at. It's the biggest challenge I have as a deconverted person is when people say silly stuff like that. And it's like, no. So yeah, they are gaslighting you. Okay, it doesn't feel like they are gaslighting you. It's like when they come on here and they say, "I really still believe." It's like, no, I fucking don't. That's I'm sorry, I'm cussing, but it makes me angry. That's one of the few things that makes me angry. Is like, don't tell me what I do and do not. So, all right, see, this is an artist at work. Thanks, Martin. Appreciate you. I think actually that makes 2 super chat time because I do believe there was a gifted membership and it was Cranky Elder God who got that. So trying to remember who did that. Yes, it was Triple E. Thanks, Triple E. And it was Cranky Elder God who got that membership. So enjoy your membership bennies for a while, Cranky Elder God. Probably about time. And seeing that's random, you got lucky on a random draw. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ronald's kind of going through the same thing. When you deconvert, one of the things that people do to you is they always say you're going to be back. And it's like, well, what if I don't come back and you're standing over my grave and I still didn't come back? What are you going to do then? You know, it's Anne-Marie common, very common that the people that believe in your life think you'll be back. They have this. It's like I said, they have this emotional attachment to faith, and they don't want to believe that you don't as well. And so, I don't know. I've used the analogy of Wizard of Oz all the time. I would have to literally not see the old man behind the curtain pulling levers anymore. I would have to pretend that never happened. And what I mean by that is I would have to pretend that all my education, learning about the Gospels and how they're anonymous and like everything I learned and all the stuff about apologetics, how it's bullshit, it would be incredibly, incredibly difficult. How would I convince myself that none of that exists? And they don't want to understand that. They don't want to hear your side of it. I know my family doesn't want to argue with me too much because they know. I think the only one that would probably dare would be my oldest son. And he knows that if he gets in a discussion with me about stuff that he's in for, because I try to make sure my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. And when I go into an argument, and if I don't know something, I'll say I don't know, but I'm going to find out. So, yeah, I am the wayward sheep, but I don't see God coming after me, to be quite fair. And that's probably what would convince me. Like, I'm sorry, I'm at the point where I'll drop the blessing that was given when doubting Thomas and John. It's like, blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. I'll drop that blessing to get some actual proof, like Thomas did, supposedly. It's like, yeah, but nope, he hasn't showed up. So, hey, no problem. No problem. That's what we're here for. Okay. I know we have a little bit of fun too, and sometimes we talk about other issues, but I'm here to help people that are struggling with their deconversion. And usually the struggle isn't that they want to go back into faith. The struggle is, I got to put up with all these people that are still in the faith and I'm out. That is probably the biggest struggle in deconversion is friends and loved ones that keep badgering you about this stuff. And that's the crap of it. It's the bad part of it. So certainly being an atheist Jew is such a common thing, at least where I am. Of course, I still end up being a troublemaker. 90% I end up with. Yeah, that's the thing about, like, we talk about like Israel being a religious country. It's not as religious as it used to be. Like, it's very secular. Like, an atheist Jew is a pretty common thing. It's a lot more common than I thought it was. Although some people still do and do that stuff. So, and that is, but I don't really drink anything but beer, actually. That's what their Bible claims. Okay. Allergic to gin? Oh, yeah. I've never tried it. I tend to not get past whiskey, so. Okay. I was known as the guy who smoked weed and analyzed the Bible word for word for fun. People used to have long talks with me. Now they actually avoid me. Kind of feel, yeah. There will come a point, Triple E, where they will stop talking to you. Like, they will get to the point where they feel like they've said all that they can say. Like, I don't get a lot of discussion from family, friends, or even people in my hometown about it anymore. If they know I'm an atheist, then they kind of stick away. It's a lonely life being an atheist most of the time, because we don't have a church to go to. Okay, we just don't accept any of that, and so you have to find alternatives. And I have the additional problem of being autistic and like socially averse to social situations. So because they make me uncomfortable, and that's why pastoring was probably a really bad career choice for me. But yeah, like social situations, I have a hard time with. They make me very anxious, and so you couple that with the fact that you're an atheist and a few other things, and you end up being pretty much alone a lot. So I am religiously opposed to savory waffle rolls, even after my aunts and okay. Oh yeah. Savory waffles. Yeah, it's funny to me because I had to do some stocking last night and it was waffles. So interesting coincidence. Yes. Triple E, yeah, we're here for that. I'm here every Thursday for this. Okay, I know my struggles when I early left the faith, and then when I got out of my church. I know those first 2 years were awful for me, and so I try to ease some of that here. You can do this on any stream, by the way. I will shut down the theist talking on rapid fire to talk deconversion with somebody who needs help. I will do that on Saturday too. It's a touchstone, kind of issue for me. Like, it's something that deeply affected my life, and I do want to help. So yeah, probably they still have their state religion, and I think that's kind of, it seems like the same kind of phase, Michael, where Europe went through the phase where people were more secular, but they still have all their state religions. So it's like, it feels that way, Like, but then again, it's the Middle East. They're always a lot behind. What are we waffling about? And I don't have my waffle meme queued up either. So I don't. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know. Do I still have that? Probably. Oh my goodness. Nope, I don't. It's either that or it's in a different file. So unfortunately, it rejects whiskey. Okay. Yeah, I see. My thing with alcohol, Earl, is when I was deconverting and I was still in the church, it became a problem. Um, I remember several times, like I became like I had been a teetotaler before that, but then when I'm in the pulpit, I'm an atheist for 2 years. I kind of relaxed my standards about alcohol, and it wasn't for the good. So, um, and so if I do drink, it's very in a controlled environment anymore. I can see where generations of alcoholics in my family might be a problem. So I kind of really, and I'm beginning to understand that maybe for some of them it has like, autistic roots, being genetic. So, um, it's like I can see where all this can go together and make a real volatile cocktail of a human being. So, uh, yeah, that's come up several times. Like, I was watching Rationality Rules yesterday when he's like breaking down the Jordan Peterson thing with the 20 atheists, and um, like Jordan Peterson's first claim is that atheists reject God, but they don't know what they're rejecting. And throughout the entire thing, he just doesn't want to admit that atheists actually know what they're rejecting. He can't do that. And that's usually the problem with most people deconverting. They do discover that one of the things that atheists have is we do know the Bible better, and we do know religion better than most people on average. Like there are some atheists that are completely clueless, but a lot of us have studied this, and that's why we reject it. So his Jordan Peterson's initial claim in that one was just kind of baffling to me, and it's always been baffling to me because I can empirically prove through poll numbers at least that that's untrue. Like, like I'm several of these people are like literally Christians or people in religious studies, and so it's all that jazz. So, so there's that. But yeah, and Earl gives you a hug as well, Triple E. Yes, nom nom nom. Yes, nibble the waffles. Oh, Earl, we got to write that one down. We got to have one where Fangs is nibbling on a waffle. That would make a perfect thing. Like if I get somebody, if I ever do a reaction video again, I would definitely put Fangs nibbling on a waffle if they're waffling. So there's that. Oh my gosh. Oh, you already wrote it down? Okay, good. Oh my gosh. Because I used to do that little waffle meme when the flipping guys were waffling on. I'm like, oh my God, just stop waffling and get to the point. You have similar problems with tequila. Yeah, I'm, see, for me right now, the reason I avoid like anything that's possibly a potentially addicting is I know myself, and I could get deep dived into that and kind of really mess up my life. So, it's why I'd rather be addicted to other things like writing and being on YouTube and stuff like that. I can do that. So, okay. See, that's the thing. I think a lot, I've talked to a couple autistic people, and it's always about, the addictions were a way to grease the social wheels. So there's that. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, good to hear tonight. Tomorrow we'll be at our new house. Very exciting time. All right. Well, good for you, Kevin. Outstanding, sir. Welcome and thank you very much. And that's actually 3 towards the goal of 5. So, and I've still got this. And right now the top hat with the new unrevealed colored headband is leading, but not by much. So. Yeah, I've cut down. Like after I got out of the church, the alcohol kind of I just diminished it over time. But yeah, I was drinking far more than I ever did the rest of my life when I was an atheist in the pulpit. So. Nibbling on a waffle in the South. Yes. Prefer bottom hats? Do they? I don't want to get into that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, just I don't know, the addictive substances addiction and stuff takes a different light when you get out of the sin camp, I guess. Like I've lost track of the number of ads, Christian, ads for Christian men that I get when I watch YouTube videos on this channel, and about how to get rid of the addiction of porn. And I'm like, okay. So, but addiction just takes a different look when you look at it without religious eyes. When you get rid of the whole sin idea, it's a different kind of deconversion issue for some. Like, it's amazing how much stress relief there is when you finally like leave the faith and walk away. Like all the stress you were drinking for or whatever you were doing just disappears, and now you feel so much better. So, but yeah. So yes, take it how I will. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I graduated in '87, Ronald, so I know what you're talking about. Like I had friends that snuck all kinds of shit into dances all the time. I never got to go to a dance though because I was a Pentecostal, and some of these God Pentecostals dancing is of the devil. So, which is weird because dancing in the spirit was okay, but dancing at a social event like a prom. So I have never been to a prom. Okay, so like I've never been to a formal dance or anything because my upbringing just didn't allow it. That's why, I would love to learn and love to do it, but yeah. So there's that. I think I have a reasonable idea of what Christians are talking about when they say God, but even if JP was right, I would be an atheist. If I can't understand, then I can't believe. Yeah, it's JP's view of God is really weird. The one guy that Rationality Rules did yesterday kind of pointed out, like, you're not using standard language. And his response was like, I don't care about standard language. I'm trying to get to something deeper. Like something deeper can't be communicated with standard language. And it was just a really weird moment when I was watching that video. I'm like, he's literally saying that he doesn't want to dialogue with anybody. So he's just going to use whatever language he wants to use. And when he does that, he's ununderstandable. Like he gets it. Yeah, I don't like crown oil anyway. It's garbage. It's misly named. Yeah, I like when I deal with JP now, it's like I don't even look at any good points he's saying anymore. It's like, how is he bullshitting people? Like, he constantly moves the goalposts. He's constantly straw manning what the atheist says. He's constantly just, when you try to get at him about the fact that he's not using common definitions, he retreats. Well, I'm trying to get to something deeper. I don't want to use common definitions. It's like he's shifty. He is so shifty in everything he does. And when I'm watching, Rationality Rules, this video, I was like, oh my God, this guy he's gotten worse. And a lot of the thing at the end of it was like, it's like, what is he doing? Like, does he not realize that everybody is seeing what he's doing now? And I honestly think he's arrogant enough and proud of himself enough that he literally doesn't think that anybody notices that he's grifting. But they do. So I'm kind of done with JP. It was like, dude, you don't even want to argue with common language anymore. Like, it's like, really? Yeah, but I don't know. The problem with me now, when I listen to an apologist talk, it's like, I'm not even looking for good points they're making anymore. Like, do they make a good point? Because it's like, there's so much BS. Like, I was listening to Mindshift last night at work with his look at, what's the new apologist name? But yeah, the guy's like, it's the same old bullshit arguments that I've heard a million times before. And I don't know. It's the same theological runaround about, the person who hasn't heard the gospel in another. Yeah, it's Wes. Yeah, Wes Huff. But yeah, I'm listening to this. I'm like, Wes, you're going around in circles. Like, it's the same problem I've had with theology and religion is whenever you corner them on something, they retreat to something else. And they never really answer the question. The whole game of theology is to never answer the question, but to keep everybody in the mystery of it. And I don't get that anymore. I have a hard time with it. I've deconverted long enough where it's like, quit giving me the same bullshit that I've heard 100 million times and debunked 100 million times. Give me something new. It's just like, we're going around in circles here. Like, if God is ultimately responsible for everything, then the guy who never hears the gospel on some island somewhere and dies in his sins will go to hell. How do you justify that? And they will retreat to some other place. They'll go around a circle. Well, they'll all be, or they'll be all judged on what they know, or they try to soften hell into something that it's not, or they play all these games. And it's like, no, you still have the problem of God's justice here staring you in the face. And you don't want to make the simple assertion, yeah, maybe the system's screwball. Okay, maybe this whole thing is just bullshit. Okay, it's like, so yeah, they're not arguing in good faith anymore, and that's my biggest problem with it anymore. Like, I'm listening to Wes Huff, and he's like talking with all these guys who are probably a little bit receptive to what he's saying, and still he's playing the bullshit games. And it's like, dude, like, oh my God, I just for Fang's sake. Here we go, for Fang's sake. It's like, I was watching it, and it was my for Fang's sake moment of the week. Like, it's like, dude, you are literally going around in a circle. Like, I've gotten to the point where I'm going to probably use this little emoji meme all the time, because I have just had enough. I've reached a deconversion point where I've had enough with the same old turds that they just try to reshape and repolish all the time. It's crap. It's just crap. Okay. I'm tired of it. And so I'm going to invoke the name of Fangs every time, for Fang's sake, because it's like, I am I am tired of it. Like, give me something new. I've had that challenge running on this channel since I started it. Give me something different. Give me something I haven't heard before. I'm about to pass 5.5 years, and I still have yet to receive anything apologetical that I haven't already dealt with when I was still a Christian. I still haven't seen anything new. It's like it's the same bullshit, and it bothers me. It bothers me. It really does. I don't have, and I'm losing my patience sometimes with it, which is weird for me because I try to keep, like, I try to remember that people are in a certain state of their life when they still believe. And I really try to be patient with them because I used to have that mentality. But there are times it's like, this seems to be very obvious to me why this is a bad argument. Yes. Yeah, I thought you'd appreciate that, Earl. This has become one of my favorites. So it's like, so yeah, it's perfect. I'm Martin. I'm with you. I've just got. It's gotten old to me. It just has gotten old to me. Like, would you give me something different? And then they'll get pissed at me for demanding such. It's like, well, the evidence is already over. No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh man. Hey, Randy. Oh, Fangs. Yes. For Fang's sake, this is also a chance to give my reminder about Fangs' name. You can use Fangs' name as a substitute for the F word in any. I'm trying to make Fangs' name as versatile as the F word, so so it's so for Fang's sake, Fangs you, you can do all that. I know there's probably some high school kids that sneak into my streams. Yeah, here you go. I'll give you something to use at high school that you won't get in trouble for. Just substitute Fags' name for the F word. Trying to grow the cult. So there's that. Oh, yeah. Everything's 2 weeks now. Yes, the evidence is overwhelmingly bad. Yes. Like, I'm watching Wes Huff do the typical moving the goalposts around a circle. And they eventually, in that discussion, got back to the original question, and he was still lacking an answer. Like, I swear these apologists stall for time. They stall for time because they don't have a good answer. And so they want to get everybody, it's like, look over here, don't look at the actual issue. I don't know if I ever got in a debate with one of these guys. I'm like, I would be constantly either pulling up this meme and saying it, or I'd be like, let's get back to the question I asked, which you haven't answered. Yeah, you can tell him to fangs off. Yes. And he can tell you to fangs off too. So Fangs doesn't mind. He doesn't mind his name being used as a cuss word, it's particularly when he is the living embodiment of the F word. So he is, his fangs around and find out. So, Fang, damn it. Yes, just a Fang, damn it, rolls better than me, damn it. Oh, send him to Reddit for that. Okay. Being an atheist for 20 years is the fear that they could just turn around one day and decide I'm not allowed to be. Yes. That is, see, I have never brought that up in a discussion with a theist before, but I'm starting to think about I should, because I would like to remind people that I don't know, you guys have in the past made being an atheist illegal. It's still technically illegal in 8 states of the United States to run without a belief for office, without a belief in God. Now, PolitiFact kind of said, oh, well, it would never be invoked because of the 1960s Supreme Court decision. I don't know. With this Supreme Court, um, I'm not sure, anymore. My real fear as an atheist right now living in my country is that Christianity might get weaponized to the point where they can do shit to me, and I don't have any recourse as an atheist to do anything about it. So there's that. Oh, and we've had a moment. Fireworks in the lake this year is sad. You're all invited. We always host a party during pool party and food. Okay, fair enough. So thank you very much. I think that's 4. And then it looks like Fred put us over the top. Yep, praise fangs. Okay, so at this present time, boy, this was a close one. Actually, it's still tied, so I need one more vote to break the tie. So I will wait and see if the tie ever gets broken on the poll. So we'll see. But thank you all for your support. I don't run ads on my streams. I leave the support of the streams to you guys. So there's that. Hey, gang. So, and is that true? Yes, I remember that. Isn't North Carolina one of the states that's still in the Constitution that you have to believe in God in order to run for office? So, hey, some happy fruits. Yes, we are happy fruits here. You want me to wear both? How do I wear both? Oh, okay. It means I have to do both. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I've already done this one, and we'll take for Fang's sake off so you all can see it better. But yes, I did this one last stream, and I saw that Earl already incorporated it into her artwork. So, this is the fedora, the blue headband, blue feather. I got a pretty good reaction. Sometimes. Sometimes. Deconversion Hangout is kind of where I talk deconversion most of the time, and we try to have a little fun as people that don't believe. So it's more that style. But yeah, I have 2 other streams in the week so there's that. But yeah. Yeah, mom ain't slow. Yeah, she already incorporated into that artwork, so I thought that was great. Okay, you have fans here. You love this one, okay? And so that's the one. This one, although it did take, it's still tied. People are awful. Again, indecisiveness. This is the thing I faced as a pastor with my congregations was indecisiveness. So eventually I'd had to make a decision. It fits my personality. Okay, fair enough. My one of the interesting things about my family is my son-in-law. I love him. He married my daughter, so he had to go through a lot of hoops because she's my only daughter. But his ringtone for me is the theme from The Godfather. So when I call him, I'm very tempted to just text him for that all the time. But yes, so yeah, it probably does. It does fit me. So yeah, it's a compliment. It is a compliment. I know I have a hard time accepting compliments. It's one of my weaknesses. Yeah, it's funny. It is funny. So, but all right, there's that one. We've already seen this one. I think the problem I have now with this one is because you love it so much, I'm going to have to keep the blue headband. I won't be able to change it. So there's that. We'll deal with that. All right. Well, seeing it was a tie, I have a black top hat, and I bought a bunch of headbands and feathers and stuff. And this is my initial attempt at changing my top hat into something a little bit more flashy. So there's the top hat. So leave the hat, bring the cannoli. Yeah. 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 I, uh, I think Earl did a piece of artwork with me in a top hat. And I thought, I got to figure out some way to make the top hat that I have better. Yes, it's the unholy trinity one. See, there's the inspiration. It already had a black. There you go. So the unholy. I dubbed this painting the unholy trinity. So, so there's that. Lord Big. Oh, Fedora does better to run me. Yeah, I agree. I'll agree with you. But yeah, I think the problem I have with the top hat is every time I see it, I want a suit and everything. Like if I'm going to wear a top hat, I'm going all out with the rest of it. So, but I can wear a fedora at any time. So you don't go to a theater wearing. Yeah. Yeah. Well, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, we could. We could. Oh yeah, like I see when I was in Texas, the one bright spot of Texas is the Texas Renaissance Fair and Festival. It's big, like it's huge. And I remember one of the great things about going there is like I would see people in a full steampunk top hat thing. Like it was the costume, the amount of work that people put in their costumes to go to that festival was just amazing to me. So yeah, no one could see. I sit in the back of theaters, by the way. So, but yes. Oh, yes. But yes, the unholy trinity. Yes, it's us, the unholy trinity. You know, Earl is the lap in which our Lord naps, and we got Fangs enjoying a moment of peace and tranquility where he's not like sucking the religious corruption out of vegetables and things like that. So, but yeah, so there's that, and then me. So yeah, yeah. So did Lincoln. Oh, really? Yeah. I see. I really have a very interesting take on some of this stuff. I love the way people dressed in the past. It seems like much more stylish. Everybody's. Don't get me wrong. I love being comfortable, but I absolutely love some of the stylish nature of the past. Like they weren't screwing around. Like dress was very important to everybody because it showed your status. It showed a lot of things about you. It reflected your personality. So it was, you had these moments where everything looked good. So it needs to be in a fireplace somewhere in VS. I love this. I love this one though. I really, really do. This is one of my favorites. So, but yeah, it's the unholy family of Fangs. Lord Night Elf, benevolent dictator. Okay, there we go. Over, not in. Okay. Oh, Punk Apostate has a hat. I don't know if I've ever seen it. I'll have to go look. But yeah. Yeah, British goths beyond yeah, I mean, I imagine they are. I would love to hang out, honestly. But yeah, I had my moment at the festival too. Like it was a medieval one, and I had my black cloak and all my stuff and my big long staff that's still in the corner, and I wore my sword on the other hip, and the black wizard appeared, and I had a lot of people request to be photographed with me. It was weird. So, all right. Oh, my favorite, doing a friend's wedding dressed up in a Renaissance pirate. Yes, I love those. Yeah, we got a double hat reveal today. We got this one here. So we got the red band. I mean, I can change the bands on these too. So there's that. But yeah, take care, Fred. Have a good one. Vampires and Castles. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. You see you later, Martin. Appreciate you as well. But yeah, so yeah, we got a couple good ideas. Saturday, I haven't put it up yet, but Saturday is going to be Fangsology night again. My plan, because Fangsology tends to get derailed, my plan is to go through the 10 Fangsaments and talk about our commandments, but from Fangs in more detail. We kind of got to go through them a little bit last time, but I want to take each one of them and break them down and have a good time with it. So we'll do that. So we will have more fun with those, and then also some of the other doctrines and heretical groups that have come up. I'm sure will present themselves in the chat. So, but Fangs will definitely be represented this Saturday. So, mostly because I want to use some of the artwork. But yes. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be fun. It'll be fun. After doing all that work with Apologia's video, I kind of want to relax this Saturday. So let's have a little Fangsology, and we can talk about our Lord and Savior Fangs. So who nibbles on our hearts? So that'll be the stream on Saturday. So excited already? Okay. Yes. Yeah, it'd be nice. I'm not going to pressure you though, Earl. Fangs to Fascistarianism. Yeah. We call it Fangsology around here. Going to be at Pride. There you go. I didn't know what I was going to do, but like, there's nothing Earl out there that apologists have done that usually caught my attention this week. It was just, it's like, it's like I said earlier. I'm tired of it all. So we're gonna do some. We've actually created a lot of stuff since the last Fangsology episode, which was almost a month ago. So we'll have a whole bunch of stuff. You feel a schism coming? I'm sure. Fantastic. There we go. Uh, I there is no new apologist stuff. That's the problem. I mean, they may put out a new video. It's the same argument of something else. So, but I think it's been there's a lot of things going on right now, and I think we need some time to just relax and laugh and have a good time. So it's my largest problem. Like this week, I was like looking for something uh, related, just, getting back to certain things like the Ten Commandments. And I said, you know what? Before I do that, we need to go over the Ten Commandments of our Lord and Savior things. So we'll go over that in detail, and we'll also, we've released a lot of artwork since the last Fangsology, so we're that has been true. So Earl's concerns, while well founded, are not. We have other stuff that we've already done, including this piece and several others. So, but yeah, we'll do that. So, but yeah, it's been a good night tonight, guys. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate it. And if you didn't, this is the top hat with the red band. So, and then I'm going to go back to this one. Seeing it seems to be a fan favorite, and who knows? Maybe I'll adopt it as my own personal hat. So, so there's that. Okay. Health Fair, Chelsea Street, Washington. All right, there you go. Yeah, Pride Month has actually been very low key this year. I think a lot of people are a little bit afraid, so you need to give me a summer bonnet. Oh, I am sure people would pay to see that. But yeah, I actually kind of like this one. I think if I was in the Godfather film, this would be my hat. Like, oh, but yeah, this would definitely be my hat if I was in the Godfather. I want to stand out. They were all of their fedoras are nice. Don't get me. They look fabulous. It's just they didn't have a lot of color. Cheap sunglasses. Okay, yeah, we could do that. Kate, I don't know. Pollyanna or Kate? See, my brain is short circuiting. My autistic brain is short circuiting at the moment. But yeah, I'm wear a bright blue suit and your hat to match your band. Okay, I could see that. See, and now we're delving into the realm of suits, and it's like there's like 25 I would like to have for different costume purposes, but I oh, Michael's, yes, that's right, that's right. Okay, it took me a bit. Yeah, I have a very contextual memory, so it takes a bit sometimes. Um, I don't know. I thought Apollyanna was more fun than Kate for sure. Okay, and yeah, I mean she was a lot more exciting, and I think Michael though would have had a lot of problems with her back in the United States. I think she would have been far more problematic than Kate was. So Kate kind of went along with everything. Apollyanna would have been like, yeah, no, I could absolutely see her being like Apollyanna. I could absolutely see being the Godfather vamp, in the corner of the room, you know, like a part of the business. So a bonnet. That's a bonnet. Okay. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Red hat though. I don't know. My mother belongs to red hats, so it's like a society around here. She would have been deported. Oh, it's possible. But I just, she was not, of his two wives, she was like the least passive of them all. Like she was very active, she was exciting, and Kate is just kind of there. Um, and, it's just, it's an interesting relationship that she has. Depends on, I don't find them boring at all. I love the subtlety. I'm ready to actually use a lot of lines from, I think what they're noted for is their lighting, their script, like the drama is really good. But yeah, like some of the one-liners still last today, because I've been so tempted sometimes when a theist is like telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, don't do that. It insults my intelligence and it makes me angry. So I've tried. It's like, I don't do that with me. So don't do that with me. A white hat. That might be interesting. Um, let's see. I'm not Fredo. Um, Sonny. Nah, Sonny's too volatile to me. I'm probably more of a Michael. Yeah, I relate. Of all the characters I relate to, it's not any of those three though. It's more Vito. I relate to Vito far more. So, um, great acting by Marlon Brando. Just good stuff. Yeah, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yes, there's a lot of good lines in the Godfather series. Even Godfather 3 has some good lines in there. Like, no matter how I try to get out, they always keep bringing me back. So, but yes, but yeah, I don't. Of the three, maybe Michael. Frito, I don't know. He was a good character, but you could sense that he was going to get whacked sooner or later. He's just not smart enough to be in that stuff. And Sonny is just way too volatile. Great character, don't get me wrong, but very too angry and too ready to go to a fight. And you can't be that and be a good leader. So Michael was far more diabolical. I'm a young Tessio before he turned. Okay, that's fair. Yes, I have a lot of fun with the Godfather movies. I appreciate what they did there. I can't remember, they won an Oscar for like lighting, like the one scene where Michael's face is half, it's like completely blacked out, you can't see it, and the other half, and he's talking to somebody, is just, oh my god. I am still gainfully employed in the world's largest brick and mortar retailer, and I work at night. So in fact, I got to get off here in about 5 minutes. So it's uh, for me, it's like people have asked me, I've actually been asked by a couple people if I would do this full time, and my answer is yes. If I had the financial backing to do it, I would, but I'm not there yet. So, yeah, but it's still, though right now it's summertime, so I'm making more money because of the summertime bonus for my store, because we have a lot of tourists come through this time of year. So the store is even busier than sometimes it is at Christmas. Um, so we get bonus pay for that. So they take care of us pretty good. It's just not glamorous. There's nothing glamorous about my job, other than I kind of rub my hands together in an evil way every time I do my job, because when you figure out something where something is in the store, I change it. And I enjoy doing that. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that changes stuff. All right. Well, I do have to run. Today is my Friday. The top hat, I already did, but I'll do it again. I had a tie, so um, there you go. There you go. There you go, Brent. Yes, I am diabolical. When you know where something is in a store, I'm the guy that comes along and changes the modular so you don't know where it is anymore. That's my job. Um, we work at night. That proves a lot of evil things about us. So, but yes, blessed be fangs and all that. He nibble for our sins with sharp, pointy teeth and deliver us from corrupted vessel. May forever nibble at your heart and grant you everlasting whiskers or wisdom. And yes, please do hit the like button. I do have to run though. I do have to get to work. It's my Friday though, so I will see you all Saturday, and we will do some fangsology. And we'll go over the commandments in far greater detail, and we will also any new stuff that we might have done since the last fangsology. We'll try to get that out as well. But good night, everybody. I appreciate all of you coming here. But make sure you hop towards the like button and subscribe and do all the things that you do. It really helps me out. I appreciate it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So thank you everybody for coming by. Thanks to all of you that donated. I appreciate the support for the streams. I don't do ads on my streams, and so I rely on your support. So thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. And consider becoming a member and doing all the things. I appreciate all of it. And as always, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. And so you want to take all your time, money, and opportunities and spend them on yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. And don't waste it on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. Instead, you rather, do all the things that Fangs asked you to do. You'll be happier there too. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by. I will catch you all next time.